All right. So next up is James, and I was talking to James about what he should talk about, and he's like, "What about RFM analysis?" And he started describing it, and I said, "I'm not sure I understand your short description, but it sounds super geeky," which means it definitely fits into the EntrepreNERD Summit. So this is going to. I've been promised a wonky, geeky discussion of marketing stuff.
Right, and I'm going to keep track. We're currently at 25% participants. We'll see how fast I can shed them.
Yeah. All right, well, take it away. Let's see how. Oh no, we're up to 26. Somebody heard you were speaking and jumped in. All right.
Thank you for that, Michael. I don't believe you, but I appreciate it.
Some analysis.
Okay, so yes, this possibly may be the geekiest conversation we'll be having today, but bear with me. And I thought about showing a spreadsheet and decided against that. So hopefully you'll stick to it. It's about RFM analysis, but it's also about a bigger question that you need to ask about your business. The fundamental, most important question that you need to ask about your business is, who are your best customers? The simple truth is your best source of future business is your current customers. And loyal customers can contribute revenue to your business in 5 different ways. So finding those best customers, understanding who they are, understanding what they're looking for, understanding how to communicate is a fundamental thing that you should be doing in your business, regardless of the type of business that you have. And RFM analysis is an old direct marketing, catalog marketing analysis technique. It's actually the underpinning for an awful lot of the very sophisticated online targeting technology that you hear about that big companies are using. When you dig into the fundamental principles behind, you'll find RFM. It's a proven technique, it's a powerful technique, and it's not that hard to do. So the objective of RFM analysis is to find who your best customers are. I posted a thing on LinkedIn the other day, all the marketing in the world is not going to change a potential customer's need state. If they don't need what you're offering, they're not going to see your marketing. Full stop. So equally, if they do need what you're offering, they will most assuredly see your marketing, so you want to be there. So how do you find them? So let's define what RFM is. It's an acronym, and it stands for recency, frequency, and monetary. And it works on the idea that the customer who bought from you most recently, who buys from you most frequently, and who spends the most money with you is the customer who's most likely to buy from you again. So RFM, recency, frequency, monetary. And if you think about how I define those terms, this really is a mathematics way of defining who your best customers are. Every customer base will have a common characteristic. The numbers may be different depending on your category that you're working in, but 20% of customers are going to be driving 80% of your business. That same 20% of customers reflect a group in the larger category, where 20% of the category participants are driving 80% of the revenue in the category. I've had multiple opportunities in the past to test this out with large companies like, for example, Visa and Bank of America, and we could show them that a 1 to 2% increase in the loyalty of their customer base generated a 20 to 80% increase in the net present value of that customer base. Now, you might ask the question, well, that's pretty awesome, but why such a big range? Why 20% to 80%? Well, what drove that range when we dug into it was customer bases that had a disproportionate number of these best customers, these heavy category users, your increase in loyalty would have a much larger impact. So RFM is a technique that you can use to help find your best customers. And then once you've found them, let's get practical for a second. That's awesome, James. I now know who my 20% is, or 18%, or 25%. I mean, as like I said before, the specific numbers will vary depending on the business, but who are the minority of your customers who are driving the majority of your revenue? Now what? Well, once you've identified who they are, go to your email marketing system, your ESP, your email service provider. It could be MailChimp, it could be ActiveCampaign, it could be Aweber. They're all basically the same. And what you want to do is you want to tag those customers in your list so that you can start treating them differently. They will, in fact, they will welcome more frequent communication because they have a heavy need for whatever it is that you're offering. Now, caveat here, or a caution. These folks are heavy category users. They're very knowledgeable. They're not your average customer. They're not the average consumer. They understand deeply what you're offering. They understand deeply what your competitors are offering. Recognize this when you're creating content for them. Don't start preaching at them about how awesome your product is. They already know. That's why they're a best customer. Talk to them about other ways they can use the product. Talk to them about other ways that they can improve their business. Talk to them about other products that you offer that might make sense for them, but do it from the point of view of they understand what you're offering. They understand, and that distinction is really, really important. And I see this mistake. I mean, I remember we were had a meeting. I had Sprint as a client for a long time, and we brought the executive team, the marketing team, up to Chicago, and we put them in a room, and the creative director put up all the customer communication on the boardroom wall. I mean, covered most of a long wall. And she said to the audience, I said, "Do you see the problem?" And they all looked at each other and went, no. And then she took a ribbon with 2 pins in it, and she walked up and she pinned the ribbon on the wall. And she said, "Now do you see the problem?" And they all kind of looked at each other and went, no, we still don't see the problem. She said, "We are talking to the things to the right of the ribbon are customer communications. Things to the left of the ribbon are prospecting communication. We're talking to our customers with exactly the same tone of voice as we're using to talk to our prospects." And that was just an eye-opening experience for them. So we got them to agree, and we started shifting the language we used. We started shifting the tonality. We got much more sophisticated about the targeting. We went into their database and found the 20% of customers who were driving 80% of their revenue. And we started treating them differently. And we put together a whole program around this simple idea. And just to give you some indication of that, I'm not just making this crap up as I go along. For 4 years, took about a year to put the whole program together. For the subsequent 4 years, we were generating a 20% revenue growth on a $2 billion base of business. By talking to customers about things that were important to the customers. I know it sounds obvious, but people don't do it, right? So RFM analysis is a great way to find those people. And obviously, if you're in an e-commerce situation, you can download transactional data and do spreadsheets and analysis and link things, and it can get very geeky and very techy and et cetera, et cetera. And that's fine. We're actually working on developing a plugin for e-commerce store owners right now that will actually do a lot of this technology heavy lifting. But don't worry about that. The concept. Who has bought from you most frequently? Say thank you to them. Acknowledge them. Tell them that they have made a good choice. Who buys from you most frequently? One of the 5 relationship marketing principles that I talk about is good customers expect to be rewarded. They know who they are. Who buys from you most frequently? And then who spends the most money with you? Start to segment your list, start to segment your communication, start to segment your marketing with the insights that you get from looking at your customer base against these 3 data points. Who bought from you most recently, who buys from you most frequently, and who spends the most money with you? So I can go on and on about this, and my wife will be happy to tell you that I've been known to. However, does anybody have any questions? How many people did I lose? Oh, I didn't lose anybody. Awesome.
I think we're up 1. We're up 2 from when you started.
So I love questions, because let's have some conversation around this, because I mean, it's a simple idea that hopefully I've communicated clearly. How would you use this to affect your marketing?
All right, Laura, I see you have a question.
I'm a very curious person, James. Okay, why is it that, especially the big brands, they tend to do this? For example, my internet provider, they love giving discounts to these new customers, but yet, as someone who has been with them for as long as I can remember, where is my anything, right? Like, why do they focus on that side? Are they looking for more of their core base people? I don't know.
Well, I tell you,
insight on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it brings up a number of interesting insights. First of all, even as a small business, if you start to embrace this, it will give you competitive advantage, because the majority of businesses do not get this, regardless of their size. So embrace this. I mean, Laura's point is very well made. This happens all the time, right? Secondly, one of the other relationship marketing principles, good customers expect to be rewarded. I didn't say bribed. There are lots of ways to reward good customers. Giving them exclusive access to content, surprising them with, here's something else that you might like, not charging them for it. They recognize your value proposition, so that's why they're a loyal customer. You're solving their need. Make your passion for them clear. Good customers expect to be rewarded. And another thing that, from my days doing loyalty programs for large corporations, we've sponsored a research study. This was a big deal, 6-figure research study. And the researcher who was presenting the results, this is what he specialized in, was loyalty research. And he said something at the very beginning of his presentation that stuck with me and actually was the impetus for the 5 relationship marketing principles. He said 90% of loyalty problems can be traced to a flawed sales process. If you bring people in by bribing them, they have no loyalty. So, and another build on that same idea, the most important sale is not the first sale. It's the second sale. Because if you can get them to buy twice, the chances that they'll buy a third time are exponentially improved. So yeah, the big corporations don't do this very well. So this is a competitive opportunity for you if you do this well. I mean, I've seen businesses, that example I just gave you was Sprint. Think about that, 20% return revenue growth on a $2 billion base of business. Another data point though, during that same time period, their market share did not change one bit. But they were selling they were keeping their existing customers longer. They were selling them more things. They cost less to service because they understood the product. They were well prepared to pay full price. You didn't have to bribe them because they understood the value, and they advocated for the brand. They brought in new customers just like that. That's 5 ways that a loyal customer. So, but an RFM is a great concept. It's a great way, either with the data, if you have it, or just with your instincts. Treat your best customers like they are best customers, because they know that they are best customers.
I just want to give you a shout out, James. Every time I've seen you over the course of, I don't know, when was the last time we did this? April. I've seen you everywhere, and you're just this fountain full of knowledge, and you surprise me every time. You're such a delight. And I want to say
Thank you, Laura.
for being
You're
here
too kind.
again. Yeah.
RJ, you have a question?
Finding unmute. First of all, I would love to say this, James, that this is the very first presentation that had the word math in the title that I have not only stayed awake for, but written some ideas down. So congratulations. You are my personal hero right now. All right. So I'm listening. I'm listening to this, and I'm reading Laura's comment here. Say thank you to your frequent buyers, reward them, all the things that you've been encouraging, which is just, I mean, when you think of it, it is absolutely simple human truth,
It's common sense.
It is common sense. How do humans like to be treated online? The same way you treat them online.
Yeah.
So here's my idea. And if you're interested, I won't put you on the spot, but you've got this beautiful math thing going on. I don't have any math going on. I have a personality quiz, find your marketing personality. It's in the back office thing that it kind of helps people understand, what personality quadrant that they lie in marketing wise, and what tools to use. I'm wondering, if you had a way to not only figure out, who are your best customers, kind of profile people the math way, and also profile the people personality way, would that be something that people could use to, you don't want another note was, don't talk to your prospects the way that you talk to your clients. Don't talk to your prospects with this personality, the way that you talk to your clients with this personality. I mean, there are, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Let's not talk to everybody the same way, people. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just want to partner with you if you are allowed to partner with crazies.
Oh, I love partnerships. That's one of the other summits that I participated in for Michael was the abundance-minded entrepreneurs. It's important. I'll give you another quick example of how this can be used. If you can assuming you have a larger customer base, obviously, if you're a bigger business, and you output your customers and you determine who your best customers are, you can use that email list on platforms like Facebook to create a custom audience,
Oh yeah.
right? And then you
bet.
can send an ad to that custom audience and a lookalike audience that Facebook says looks just like these people with a survey.
Yep.
And create a quiz funnel. And that quiz funnel can help you understand things like personality, what is their need, where are they in their buying process, where are they in their journey. And so that's another practical application of this RFM analysis, is the ability to use it to help drive paid advertising. When I've done this for e-commerce clients, the impact that they've had was massive, because we were able to very specifically get messages to people who were heavy users of the category. And that increased the efficiency. If you can get more high quality people into the top of your funnel and understand who they are through a quiz, and then understand how to speak to them in the mid funnel, how to nurture that relationship, how to build that relationship. When the conversion event happens, it's not a sale, it's the next logical step in their journey. And that's what makes a loyal customer. Because you're creating value for the customer and the customer is creating value for the business. It's a mutual exchange of value, and that's what you should be striving for.
Exactly. You get to stop selling, start inviting and serve. I mean, we look at the marketing funnels like, 100 people come in, 3 people buy. What happened to the other 97? We can do a better job, and you are doing a better job
Right.
with your
the mid funnel, the classic LinkedIn pitch slap, right? I mean, I got pitch slapped by somebody this morning who, during a connection ask, I'd love to connect with you so that I can sell you my product. Guess what I didn't do?
Did you sell him your pay me to pitch me link?
I am using my pay me to pitch me script like 2-3 times a day now.
Nice.
Yeah,
for those who don't know, you should share what the pay me to pitch me is.
I can put it in the chat if you want. I've got it. Another nerdy thing for all of you. Look up a utility called Text Expander. Text Expander saves me literally hours every week, because all of those things that you always have to type over and over again, right? You can just create a little short code in Text Expander and there you go, it's right there. So for example, I just put in semicolon, pitch me, and all that I just put into the chat was all generated by Text Expander.
Yep.
If you want to get nerdy, Michael, I'll go to the carpet with you on that.
I just probably look into Text Expander, but yeah, we this is one of those ideas that people can copy from me that I'm very happy about, that just create a Calendly event and you can charge for Calendly events. So you create a Calendly event that's for a 30-minute call for whatever you want, $50, $100, $500, $1,000. And anytime someone pitches you, say, I just say, I'd love to meet with you. Here's my link.
Hey, it looks like Charles has a question.
Oh, Charles does have a question. Look, it's a wild Charles appears. Let's add him to the spotlight and take us off the spotlight.
I just wanted to, it's a great topic. I'm absolutely glad that you are speaking about this. It's something that we work with our clients in all the time. We use it in lead scoring. So we take certain metrics that whether it's email opens, email clicks, text responses, we use it in every form of communication, but we use the RFM model to come up with the values of that lead scoring based on certain activities of our best customers. But then, just like you were saying, we automate the process to where when they complete certain events in their journey, it scores them out. So when they become a new client or a new customer, every time they interact with something, it adds to their score. Once they reach a certain score level, we then automatically add them to a Facebook audience.
Yep.
And then every month or every quarter, we'll go in and we'll generate a new lookalike audience that's only 1 to 2% variance of that original audience. So it's the closest possible match, according to Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
to our ideal candidates. And it drives down, not only is our support cost less, we spend less money on support overall, and our churn rate is, because we're subscription based, so our churn rate is dramatically lower because we're targeting a specific customer profile.
Right.
But our cost of acquisition is stupid. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it's just,
it helps
it's
on
crazy.
all directions. And like I
Yeah.
said, this simple idea of RFM is the underpinning to an awful lot of very sophisticated targeting. And it reeks of common sense, but it doesn't, you don't have to get into AI and, math and all the rest of that. You certainly can, and there's absolutely a place for that. But just the concept, just thinking about your customers that way, that's going to help your business. It's going to help you generate mutual value for your customers and value for your business, which is what you should be striving for always.
And I think, oftentimes we talk about our customer avatar without even taking that into consideration. And I think that's, it's funny when people ask me who my customer avatar is. I'm like, I don't know. I can tell you what their score is, because it's such minute data that I'm measuring. It goes across multiple industries where we serve, several different industries. We're able to target those specific people based on their most likely actions,
Right.
based on our previous clients or current clients.
Right. And that's an interesting, we could probably have a whole summit just on that. There's the targeting aspect of the customer avatar, but there's also the messaging and content strategy aspect. If you don't understand who they are as people, you're not going to be able to craft your message in a way that they're going to be able to respond to. So another old direct marketing axiom, get the right message to the right person at the right time. And RFM helps you with the right person and with the right time, but it doesn't help you with the right message. And that's where the customer, and having an avatar, we could do a whole deal on avatars at some point, but understanding who they are attitudinally, what their pain is, and what the gain is that they'll get from you are equally important with understanding who they are demographically and being able to target them. Awesome.
All right,
Thank you,
and with
Michael,
that-
for the opportunity to share this little bit of thought process with everyone.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.